Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to Bill Gray Legion Stadium at Champion Car Wash Field in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. The sun is shining as we begin the final week of the regular season for Roseburg baseball here on The Score. A lot still to be decided in the Southwest Conference. There is a champion starting to take form in the league standings, but nothing solidified yet. And this final week is going to come down to some big matchups for teams not only looking to win a conference title, but also looking to try and secure their spot in the Class 6A state playoffs. It's going to be an interesting finish to the Southwest Conference season, and we'll be bringing you Roseburg's games this week here on The Score. It's great to be with you, everybody. Joey Kieran here from Champion Car Wash Field. Blue sky overhead with a few cotton puffy clouds off in the distance. Overall, a very nice day for baseball here in the Umpqua Basin. As we get ready for today's matchup, we're going to get a chance to catch up with head coach Troy Thompson in just a moment. Before we take our first break of the pregame show, I want to remind you that today's game is streaming live online at 541radio.com, where you can watch today's action streaming for free thanks to the Cow Creek Tribe. You can also find it on our YouTube channel. Search 1490 The Score to find the broadcast of today's game there on our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you follow Roseburg High Sports throughout the school year. We'll be back with more of the Roseburg Disposal pregame show here with you in just a few moments. We'll get a chance to catch up with head coach Troy Thompson after this 2-minute timeout on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Working from a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to, by hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations, top of the hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors, at home or on the road, at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Back here with more of our Roseburg Disposal pregame show. You can let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. Roseburg baseball back at home for the final week of the regular season. And the big game's coming up here for the Tribe as they welcome in Willamette here today. We get a chance to catch up with Coach Troy Thompson. Coach, not an easy way to sugarcoat anything about how things went last week. 0 for 3 for you guys. And I know this team hadn't really seen sustained kind of
streaks like that where 3 straight losses, back-to-back losses, that hadn't happened this season. You always hope guys don't get in their heads too much, but how do you kind of try to keep things light but keep them focused and trying to continue to improve here?
Well, that's just it. That's the question. How are we going to respond to, like you said, a tough week and against some good clubs in South Medford and Sheldon? Those are good teams, and on the road, and we've talked about that before. It's tough to win on the road no matter where you're at, and we found that out last week. So the positive note is our pitching in all 3 of those games we thought was good enough to win and gave us a chance, kept us in it. Unfortunately, offensively, we just didn't get it done. So back to work, back to the same routine and the same talk we have all year and every year for that matter. You got to be able to put defensive or offensive pressure on the other team to have a chance to score runs, and we're going to continue with that. And hopefully today we have a chance to come out and see that through.
Throughout a season, you kind of have to adjust and kind of adapt on the fly. And we were talking a little shorthanded today, and this team's going to have to adjust. And we've seen you guys do that throughout the season with injuries and illness and whatnot. It's another iteration for you guys here this final week. Good thing is high school kids seem to be resilient. Do you feel like this club's kind of flexible enough to be able to kind of overcome where you guys are at this week?
Well, we've had to be. We've had to be flexible, like you said, throughout most of the season. We'd like to play with our lineup, and unfortunately for us, that hasn't happened a number of times this year, but we've come through it, and the kids have gotten the opportunity to play in that situation, have done a great job for us, and we'll get some more opportunities here this week. So, yeah, like you said, kids are resilient, and they bounce back and hopefully put last week behind us and look forward to this week. Certainly here today. We got a beautiful day here today weather-wise, and hopefully we come out and with a lot of energy and get after the game here today.
At home, you guys have been pretty good this season, and what is it about playing at home that usually makes a team a little bit more comfortable and maybe more confident going out there?
Well, that's just it. You're at home. This is where we practice, and they're real comfortable in the surroundings here because we spend a lot of time here. So it's nice not to get on a bus. It's nice not to have to travel and worry about the travel piece of it and what it's going to look like when we get there and that type of thing. But, yeah, playing at home is always a good place to start as far when you look at your schedule and, check your home schedule. And, yeah, kids get excited to play at home. So, yeah, it's a great thing to be back here for our last few games here in the regular season.
I know that the weekend was tough, and obviously the 2 losses at Sheldon had an impact on kind of the future for the team this year. How much do you guys kind of talk about where you guys sit right now going into the final week, and is there much of an emphasis put on what needs to happen for you guys?
Not really. We don't talk about standings or rankings or things like that at all, honestly. We're more focused on ourselves and trying to get better as we play and trying to put our best product out there each time we go out, and we want to play our best baseball that day. We want to have our best game of the year whenever we play, and hopefully that can transfer over here today. And like we said, forget what happened last week because, it's last week. We can't do anything about it now. And the same can be said when you have a good week and you win 3 in a row or 2-1 or whatever the case may be. Can't take those runs or those good performances with you. You still got to go out and do it again the next time you play. So we spend a lot of time focusing on the next game, the next pitch, the next inning, and hopefully we'll come out today and do that and kind of have a one pitch mentality and have some success here today.
All right, Coach. Best of luck to you guys out
there.
Thank
you.
And that is head coach Troy Thompson joining us here in the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. You can let them make the run to the dump for you. That is the easy way to go. Roseburg would like to send last week to the dump, going 0-3 last week against good competition, but unfortunately not quite performing up to where they would like to be at this point in the year. Obviously, you are getting ready for possible postseason runs, and for Roseburg and for Willamette, this is the time you want to be playing some of your best baseball. And for Roseburg, obviously last week was a tough one, but for Willamette, they're coming off of winning 3 straight games on the road. They'll like to see if they can take that into today's matchup. Roseburg coming in at 16-7 on the season, 9-6 in conference play. As for Willamette, they are 8-15 on the year, 4-11 in Southwest Conference play. We'll take a look more at today's matchup, including the first time the 2 teams met. We come back as we get ready for first pitch here from Champion Car Wash Field on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon in the Umpqua Basin. This is Roseburg Baseball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate! Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with a news review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Southwest Conference play wrapping up this week. A single game today, then a doubleheader coming up on Saturday for both of these two teams. As we get ready to prepare for the postseason for Roseburg and for Willamette, the season will come to an end here. Regular season will come to an end here on this weekend. Actually, for Willamette, they won't finish out the regular season until Monday next week when they take on South Medford in a doubleheader. But for Roseburg, it'll end on Saturday. And as of right now, neither team has a game beyond Monday scheduled for next week. No non-conference games to try and get in before the rankings freeze and before the 6A regular season officially comes to an end later that week. But the playoffs don't begin until the 22nd. And so for both of these teams, if they are to make it into the first round of the playoffs, next week will be a bit of a dead week to try and get themselves right, try and get healthy, try and get prepared for the upcoming first round matchup for either team. But looking back to where these two teams have been prior to getting into the postseason, Roseburg made a trip up to Eugene to take on Willamette back on April 15th. Game 1 was a victory 6-4 for Roseburg. Game 2, a Roseburg win 10-0. In that doubleheader, both teams finishing with 15 hits, but Willamette did have 5 errors in that game, in that doubleheader. 3 in Game 1, 2 in Game 2. That really kind of put a damper on them being able to pull out a victory. They also did give up some free bases, whether it be walks or hit batters. There were 10 walks and 6 hit batters in that doubleheader for Roseburg batters. So that helped them out a little bit and helped kind of or push things into Roseburg's direction in a doubleheader that was fairly even when it came to the number of hits for both teams. So the errors and extra bases with hit batters and walks helping out Roseburg pick up that doubleheader sweep on the road. That kind of helped counteract the fact that Roseburg struck out 18 times between the two games. So Roseburg looking to try and get their bats going against a Willamette team that had their number the first time around. Ryan Prescott and also Lucas. Let's look up the first name here because I didn't write it down because I knew I could look at it here. Jaden Lucas, there we go. Prescott and Lucas, those two pitchers taking the losses for Willamette. Roseburg had Evan Corbin on the mound to get the win in Game 1. Jake Johnson got the win in Game 2 as Roseburg was able to get the sweep. in that doubleheader. Noah Fisk and Evan Corbin both had 4 hits and 3 RBI. Brooks Avery had 3 hits and 4 RBI. And Braden Russell had 3 hits and an RBI in that doubleheader. And then for Willamette, some of the stars, Travis Grantham had 4 hits, and Noah Cox and Joey Garbodin both had 3 hits in the matchup. So that is a look at kind of how the previous meeting between these two teams went. A quick note here, as you might have gathered in the pregame interview there is a little bit of news to get to for Roseburg prior to today's matchup. 3 players will not be with the team today. That is some noticeable guys and 2 starters, Evan Corbin, Jace Wilder, and Braden Russell. All 3 will not be with the team today and Saturday's doubleheader at home against North Medford due to disciplinary reasons. They will be back and available with the team coming up in the postseason if and when Roseburg plays in the first round of the 6A state playoffs. So a little bit of news there for Roseburg as they get ready for today's matchup. Taking a look at the starting lineup for Robert Cantwell and the Willamette Wolverines. It'll be Noah Cox leading things off, the starting shortstop for Willamette, followed by center fielder Tyson Rather and the starting pitcher Ryan Prescott. In the DH spot is Joey Garbodin batting cleanup, followed by left fielder Travis Grantham. In right field, batting 6th is Braden Rather. The catcher, Caden Koffler, will bat 7th, followed by first baseman Berkeley Granberry. And at second base, batting 9 is Braylon Peterson, the DH being utilized for the starting third baseman for the Wolverines. On the mound for Roseburg, right-hander Jake Johnson, the sophomore, making his 8th start of the season. He's pitched in 42 1/3 innings. He's got a 4-2 record on the year, a 1.65 ERA. And he's got 30 strikeouts and 14 walks in his 42 innings of work. He does have a win against Willamette from earlier in the season, so he has seen these guys. We'll see how it goes. First pitch of the ball game, a ground ball, gets through left side. One hop past a diving Brooks Avery at shortstop, and the leadoff man Noah Cox is on base with a single, wasting no time on that first pitch of the ball game. 1 on with nobody out, as it'll bring up Tyson Rather, the center fielder, a left-handed batter. Will get his chance against Jake Johnson. Take a look at the defense for Roseburg here in the first. First pitch from Johnson, low and outside, ball 1. Behind the plate, the battery mate for Roseburg is Parker Burke. Out at first base, James Coleman. Noah Fisk at second. On the left side of the infield, Asa Takahashi at third, and Brooks Avery at short. There's a pickoff throw to first. Out in the outfield from left to right, Hunter Fullerton, Eli Jacobs, and Brevin Harrison is your starters defensively for Roseburg here today. At the plate, Tyson Rather, the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball, right side. Long run for Fisk. Won't get there. The runner's going to try to go to third and will. As the ball gets back in, runners on the corners here in the top of the first for Willamette. Rather put a ball on the right side that's just too far to get to for Noah Fisk. And running on the hit, Noah Cox able to get all the way to third. And there are back-to-back hits here in the first inning for the Wolverines, and it brings up the dangerous Ryan Prescott. Prescott, RBI opportunity, runner going, throw, goes into center field, miscommunication at second base, a run will score. Jacobs fires in, not in time. And it's 1-0 Willamette in front. Out at second base, Fisk and Avery. Fisk cut in front, but he let it go through thinking that Avery would get it behind him. Avery was at the bag. He thought Fisk was going to take it. And so neither did, and it rolled into center field. Prescott will take a strike on the inside corner, a 1-1 count. So momentum early on for Willamette. 1-1 pitch in for a called strike to Ryan Prescott, the lefty. Jake Johnson trying to get the first out, trying to settle things down. 1-2. Ball well struck out to right field. Brevin Harrison's going to be running to the fence. That one off the top of the fence. He'll throw back in with a headfirst dive is Ryan Prescott with an RBI double. And Willamette has come to play here today. 3 straight hits to start out the ball game. It's 2-0. The Wolverines in front.
Designated hitter number 28, Joey Garbodin.
Still nobody out. Third hit of the ball game for the Wolverines. It'll be the DH, Joey Garbodin. First pitch swinging for him. Flares one out towards right field. It's a fair ball. Just landed inside the chalk line, and Fisk will have to run it back in. That ball just down the line happened to land right behind a post that I couldn't see exactly it come down. But that ball was right on the foul line, and of course, with the way things have started out for the Wolverines in this ball game, it lands fair. Runners on the corners now as Prescott makes his way to third. Garbodin with the bloop single down the right field side, on with a single, 4 straight hits, and that's going to prompt an early visit to the mound for pitching coach Zach Mandera. Well, after a tough week last week, obviously not the start that Roseburg was hoping for here today. 4 straight hits by the top of this Willamette order, and we know they've got some hitters at the top there. Today's ball game brought to you by our friends at Abby's Legendary Pizza, a legendary pizza tradition. Brief visit there for Coach Mandera. Roseburg now's got to dial it in defensively here.
Right fielder number 14, Travis Grantham.
With runners on the corners. Last time this was the case. An error on the Tribe proved costly. At the plate, Travis Grantham will bat, the 5-hitter. Squaring to bunt, runner going. This time they let it go through. He stays on the bag out at second. And in safely goes Garbodin to second base. Staying at third was Prescott. An 0-1 count at the plate for Grantham. Johnson squaring to bunt. That ball fouled back. Strike 2. Grantham had squared to bunt the first time on that first pitch. Didn't make contact. Trying to... Now runners at second and third trying to bring somebody in with that bunt. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and there's the first out. Much needed for Roseburg and for Johnson. He gets a strikeout, 1 away, and it's Braden Rather to bat. With runners at second and third already. 2 runs in here in the first inning for the Wolverines. Braden Rather starts in right field. Squaring to bunt, popped up foul, back to the netting. They were going with the squeeze. The runner took off from third. Prescott was heading home on the pitch. If that ball was down in fair territory, it's another run for the Wolverines. But bunting to the backstop in the air. And that would have been the perfect for Roseburg, is to maybe get that ball in the air in a spot that was playable. Strike taken on a breaking ball. The curveball drops in on the outside corner to Rather, and he's got himself an 0-2 count with 1 out and runners at second and third, looking to put the ball in play. Got a good chance of driving a run. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Johnson. There's 2 down. Johnson is close to getting himself out of what was a very disastrous start to this ball game. Credit Willamette putting the ball in places where Roseburg's defense couldn't get to it. First pitch, swinging, a ground ball to third. Takahashi plenty of time, lobs over to James Coleman at first for the final out. So Roseburg finds himself in an early hole. 7 hitters to the plate for Willamette. 2 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 Roseburg error and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the first. Roseburg coming up to bat, trailing 2-0 against Willamette on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Back at Champion Car Wash Field as we get ready for the bottom of the first. Roseburg trailing 2-0. Taking a look at the starting lineup for the Tribe. At the top of the order will be Brooks Avery, the shortstop, followed by second baseman Noah Fisk. Third baseman Austin Takahashi bats third, followed by Eli Jacobs in the center field position, batting cleanup. Parker Burke will catch, batting fifth. Jake Johnson, the pitcher, hits sixth. Brevin Harrison in right field will bat seventh, followed by first baseman James Coleman, and rounding out the starting nine is Hunter Fullerton in left field. That is a look at today's starting lineup for Roseburg. On the mound, they will face Ryan Prescott. In the one game he faced Roseburg earlier, went 5 1/3 inning, gave up 5 hits, 6 runs, 6 walks, and had 10 strikeouts against Roseburg in a loss in Game 1 of a doubleheader back in April. Brooks Avery will stand in, trying to get something going for Roseburg after giving up 4 hits to Willamette there in the top of the first inning. Roseburg's going to have to get the offense going, which has been the case for quite some time, but now they're up against it here in today's ball game. Avery, though, did have a good series against Willamette. We'll see if he can do it again today. First pitch, he swings and fouls it back for strike one. Avery against Willamette again had 3 hits and 4 RBI up in Willamette at Floyd Ogden Field. He's got the 0-1 count from the lefty. Takes low. Coming into today's matchup, Brooks Avery, one of the top hitters on the team for Roseburg. The junior hitting .309 on the season. A 1-1 pitch from the lefty. Ground ball left side. In the hole, the shortstop Noah Cox across to Berkeley Granberry, the first baseman. That retires Avery to begin things here in the first inning. One away, Noah Fisk will bat, the second baseman. Brooks Avery and Noah Fisk up the middle. They've been pretty good with the bat in the hands. Against Sheldon on Saturday, a day when Roseburg really struggled hitting. Game 2, those two combined for most of the hits for Roseburg. First pitch, Fisk sends one deep to center field. Going back, Tyson Rather find his way back deep enough to get to that ball to retire Fisk. 2 away. That ball was pretty well struck. I think caught the center fielder Tyson Rather off guard a little bit that ball was so well hit, but he was able to recover in time. Takahashi will bat. He's normally in the leadoff spot with the shorthanded roster today for Roseburg. He will bat in the third position. He squares the bunt, but it'll put back to the mound, fielded by Prescott. Easy toss to first to finish off the frame. And just like that, Roseburg goes down in order against Ryan Prescott. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Through 1 inning of play, it's 2-0. Willamette in front of Roseburg on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
2-0 lead for Willamette as we welcome you back for the top of the second inning. Roseburg softball is in action today. They're hosting the Wolverines as well. And it looks like they're in the bottom of the first inning with 2 outs, and Roseburg already up 3-0 on Willamette in that softball matchup. They had some pretty good battles at Willamette High School when the two teams met earlier this season. Jake Johnson will face the first baseman, Berkeley Granberry, who fouls off the first pitch for strike one. Top of the second, it'll be the 8-9-1 hitters coming up for Willamette against Jake Johnson. The 0-1. That ball is lifted in the air right side into foul territory. Harrison chasing up against the wall will run out of space. A long strike two for Granberry. Top 4 batters in the lineup for Willamette all got on base with hits in the first inning. Single, single, double, single. But then Johnson fought back to strike out 2 and get a ground out. He winds and fires the 0-2 pitch. That ball popped foul and well out of play. Stays an 0-2 count. Granberry sports jersey number 99 for the freshman. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball well outside from Johnson. First season back at 6A for Willamette this year. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Throw down to first base by Burke will get the runner. Another strikeout for Jake Johnson. He's got 3 in the ball game. And now he's able to get the first out here to start things off in the second. Brings up Braylon Peterson, the second baseman. First pitch swung on. He goes chasing high and inside for strike one. In the Southwest Conference today, South Medford at North Medford in a big battle in the conference standings. Squaring to bunt, and he did go around according to our home plate umpire. And it's an 0-2 count. If North Medford wins today, they would clinch the outright Southwest Conference title. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball way outside. And down on strikes goes Peterson. 4 strikeouts in the contest for Johnson, and he takes it back to the top of the order where he's got a little bit of revenge to try and get. Noah Cox on the first pitch of the ball game, singled to left field. He'll stand in, eventually scored on an error by Roseburg. He takes low and outside for ball 1. So that matchup between South Medford and North Medford going on this afternoon at North Medford High School. That's a big contest in the conference today. A 1-0 in for a called strike to Cox. Now, if South Medford were to win today, it would leave the door open for the Panthers to win the conference title. They're the only team that could catch North Medford. It's a 1-1 called strike 2. Roseburg, with their 2 losses to Sheldon, fell out of conference contention. South Medford, the only team that could catch them. They would need to win today and then hope that Roseburg sweeps North Medford here at home on Saturday. A ball chopped at, goes to center field for a base hit, an 0-2 single for Noah Cox, who is now 2 for 2 in the game. Cox fighting off a high breaking ball. Got lucky he didn't send that ball higher in the air out to center field. Was able to chop at it and get on top of it enough to dump it in shallow center field for a base knock in front of Eli Jacobs. 1 on, 2 away. Brings up Tyson Rather. He takes low on a breaking ball for a 1-0 count. So South Medford would need a lot of help to be able to claim the conference title. But if they win today, they would actually take the series against North Medford and then would hope that they could finish tied. Strike on the outside corner here for Tyson Rather. Out at first base, Noah Cox was dancing around, lost his footing. Kind of slipped as he was starting to try and get a little bit of a dance going on out there and then rushed back to the bag, afraid that he might have a pickoff move coming his way. The 1-1 is in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. So that's the big matchup going on in the conference today. Sheldon is off today. South Eugene's at Grants Pass as well. Roseburg with a win is trying to stay ahead of Sheldon in the conference standings. There's a ball low and inside, gets by Parker Berg. And to the backstop. It's a 3-1 count for Tyson Rather, and up to second base goes Noah Cox. Pass ball puts a man in scoring position. And right now it's the little things for Roseburg that are starting to compile against him a bit here. The 3-1. And there's ball 4. Well, that doesn't come back to haunt him there, but it puts 2 runners on base for the dangerous hitting Ryan Prescott.
Batter number 24, Ryan Prescott.
Prescott had a double down the right field line in the first inning. Drove in a run. First pitch swinging, he pops one high in the air left side, going out into the foul territory. Austin Takahashi will track it down to retire the side. So Roseburg gets out of it. They strand 2 men on base for Willamette. No runs on 1 hit, no errors for Roseburg, and 2 men left on. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 Wolverines in front on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs. Here at Champion Car Wash Field in beautiful Roseburg, sun is shining, and it's a great day for a little bit of baseball action for us here today. Looking at your weather forecast right now, 66 degrees here as we begin the bottom of the second inning. Sun shining, and it is expected to do that the rest of the day. Roseburg hoping that the sun will continue to shine on them here this season. They had been on an absolute tear this year, looking really good, but the last week has definitely put a sour taste in everybody's mouth as Roseburg looks to try and make a postseason run. Really look like a dangerous team, but this last week has definitely put a lot of things in question. On the mound, Ryan Prescott, the big lefty, fires in first pitch, fouled away by Eli Jacobs, who will bat and lead things off. Jacobs this season for Roseburg hitting .274. The team batting .256 as a whole. Prescott's 0-1 as he toes the third base side of the rubber. In on the hands, that one popped foul and out of play for strike 2. Into the grandstands behind the visiting dugout on the first base side. Prescott with his 0-2. That one in on the hands, flared out towards center field. Going to carry enough for Tyson Rather. And that is 4 straight batters retired to start out the ballgame for Prescott. 1 away, and Parker Berg stands in. The catcher for the Tribe, batting 5th today. Berg this season hitting .221. Roseburg, I mean, we talked about how tough last week was for them. The Ball lifted left side down the line. If it stays fair, that's got a chance to be extra bases. It is a fair ball, and it bounces over for a ground rule double. And in standing up to second will go Parker Burke. Deep ball down that left field line. It was well short of the fence, but off the springy turf it hits and goes over for a ground rule double. And so Burke will get something going for Roseburg. First hit of the ball game. And he will get a runner on in scoring position. Roseburg trailing 2-0. A courtesy runner on for the catcher. I'll tell you that in a second. First pitch gets away from the catcher. And up to third will go the runner. There was some confusion there. Caden Koffler, the catcher for Willamette, was starting to come up out of his crouch, and that pitch caught him off guard. It almost looked like it got in on him and might have hit him in the chest protector, just knocked it down. So there was some confusion there. And up to third base goes the courtesy runner for Roseburg. So man at third. It's a 1-0 count, I believe, for Jake Johnson. I believe that's Dane St. Clair running at third for Roseburg. So Roseburg looking to possibly cut the deficit in half with a man at third and nobody out. Jake Johnson at the plate, looking to help his own cause. The 1-0 pitch is fouled away. I was wondering if Roseburg would look to try and do anything fancy here, but with one out, they're going to let Johnson swing away. Jake this season batting .179 in 49 plate appearances. A 1-1 delivery for Prescott. Ooh, buzzing the tower, ducking out of the way goes Johnson. So in the 3 games last week, a loss to South Medford and 2 losses to Sheldon, Roseburg put up just 4 runs, had 2 shutout losses in there. The team was 12 for 73, batting .164 as a team last week. A pitch hit towards center field, deep enough to probably drive in St. Clair from third. He'll tag, heads to the plate. He's in, standing up, and it's a 1-run ball game on a sac fly by Jake Johnson. Johnson does the job he was asked to do, brings in a run. After Parker Burke reached on a ground rule double, Jake Johnson drives him in with the sacrifice fly. 2 away, bases are cleared, and it's Brevin Harrison to bat. He swings past a breaking ball for strike 1. For Brevin Harrison this season, still looking for his first hit of the year. He's only had 7 plate appearances. He does have a walk and 3 strikeouts. Takes a strike from Prescott for a 0-2 count. Harrison has been hit by a pitch as well. He's got an 0-2 count with the bases empty. The 0-2 delivery from Prescott, swung on and missed for strike 3. That'll wrap it up for Roseburg, but they are able to manufacture the run against Prescott here in the second. They get a ground rule double from Parker Burke and bring him home on the sac fly by Jake Johnson. And it's a 2-1 game as we go to the top of the third here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
From a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to, by hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations, top of the hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
It'll be number 24, Ryan Prescott. No start, number 28, Joey Garboda.
A 2-1 ball game as we come back to start the third inning. Jake Johnson misses high on the first pitch to Joey Garboden, the DH. 1 for 1 today. 1-0 pitch is over the plate, right at the belt buckle for strike one. 1-1 count. Got handcuffed. That ball popped up. Foul will make its way almost to the on-deck circle for strike two. Roseburg trying to battle its way back in this one. Cut the deficit in half, trying to keep it there. The 1-2. Johnson misses high. This is the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for Willamette here in the third inning. Two, just got a piece of that breaking ball sitting on the outside corner to the right-handed hitter. That ball almost got by. 2-2. Ball sent high in the air, playable down the first base side. Parker Berg trying to track it down, overruns it, and second life for Joey Garboden at the plate. So Garboden back at the dish, leading things off for the Wolverines. Garboden had a single that just happened to drop in the side the chalk line down the right field line back in the first inning. 2-2, ground ball, left side, knocked down by Avery. He will not have a throw to make to first. Able to get to that baseball, but it was just a little bit too far out of his reach to be able to make a play on it. He covers a lot of ground for a lot of shortstops. I think that ball gets through easily. Avery able to get his leather on that one just a bit,
14,
but could not come up with it throwing. Pickoff throw to first base by Johnson, not in time. And standing in will be Travis Grantham, who struck out swinging in the first. He swings, taps one just down the line at third base for strike one. Nobody out so far. Here in the top of the third inning. A 2-1 lead for Willamette here at Champion Car Wash Field. Throw to first base. James Coleman there scoops that one out of off the turf. Runner was going. The ball hit in the air out towards left field. It's caught by Fullerton. He throws in, trying to double him off at first. Not going to be there in time. Just a hair behind at first base. Back in safely goes Garboden. Travis Grantham flies out. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And Hunter Fullerton, give him a ton of credit. Making a heck of a throw from left field. One hops it to James Coleman at first, right on target, and that ball just a hair behind the runner. One out, first pitch swinging ball fouled away for Braden Rather. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Throw over to first base. Ooh, nice throw there by Johnson. Just almost got it in there in time. 0-1 pitch, another pickoff throw this time. Coleman has to step over the runner, sliding back in. Make sure the ball didn't get by. Top of the third inning, 1 out, 1 on. Roseburg looking for a ground ball here. Instead, it's a bunt down the third base side. Johnson will wisely let that ball go foul. He was going to have a real hard time making a play on that ball, so he decides to let it go foul, and that's the right decision there. They're in the second inning of the softball game going on right now. It's still 3-0. Sorry, make that the third inning. I believe they're going to the top of the third, and Roseburg leading 3-0 in that softball matchup. 0-2 pitch here for Rather. He'll ground one right side. High hop, knocked down by Fisk. Throw to first. He'll make the play. Way to stay with it. Runner advances to second, but they do get an out on Noah Fisk, who came charging in. I think at first he was running to second because the runner was going. He had to redirect to the ground ball. He got caught on an in-between hop. Didn't field it cleanly, but knocked it down. His momentum was all carrying him forward. He was bobbling and juggling that baseball, but managed to get with it. And as he falls to the turf, made an accurate throw to James Coleman at first base for the out. Ball lifted to center field for Caden Koffler. Underneath it, Eli Jacobs. And that finishes off the third inning for the Tribe. Some good defense behind Jake Johnson will get Roseburg through the top of the third, still trailing 2-1. In the third inning for the Wolverines, no runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-1. Roseburg trailing the Wolverines on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Today's Roseburg baseball game sponsored by Dr. Lanton Randall. Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Visit drrandall.com or call him at 541-378-6694. Today's game also sponsored by Chuck Swarm and Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Roseburg trailing 2-1 against Willamette. They'll round out their first time through the lineup against Ryan Prescott, who so far has allowed just one hit, has one strikeout, no walks. James Coleman will bat, leads things off for the Tribe, takes low for ball one. Coleman, only 17 plate appearances this season, batting .250 on the year. Got 4 walks. Starts off with the 1-0 count. Takes high and away. Prescott a 2-0 count against Coleman against Prescott has the 2-0 count. All black jerseys today for Willamette. Interesting look. Pitch low, 3-0 for Coleman. All black, maroon numbers on the back, outlined in white. WHS on the front of the jerseys, outlined in white. The pullover unibody look. Black trousers. Coleman takes a 4-pitch walk from Ryan Prescott. First walk of the game issued for Prescott. Meanwhile, Roseburg in the all-white uniforms today. White button-up tops with orange numbers on the back. The white trousers with the stripe down the side. They're expecting Hunter Fullerton to bunt here. They pull in the third baseman, Brody Butler. Throw comes in high, breaking ball, misses for a 1-0 count for Fullerton. Hunter, he has struggled at the plate, batting .093 on the year. But he does have 1 sack bunt to his total so far this season. Takes a strike at the knees, a 1-1 count. I don't know if we ever ran through the defense for Willamette here today. Behind the plate, Caden Koffler, the battery mate for Prescott. Scoring to bunt, Fullerton takes outside, 2-1. Berkeley Granberry out at first, Braylon Peterson at second. On the left side of the diamond, Brody Butler at third, Noah Cox at short. In the outfield, Travis Grantham, Tyson Rather, and Braden Rather, your three hitters, or excuse me, your three defenders in the outfield from left to right. Hit by batter, or hit by pitch. Boy, let me get my words together here. Hunter Fullerton, he squared to bunt. The pitch came inside. He got spun to get out of the way, but gets hit by the pitch and heads on down to first. And he's limping around a little bit. That is not great for Roseburg. They don't have enough guys on the roster available today to lose anybody. Fullerton seems to be all right, just kind of stretching things out and letting the pain subside just a little bit. He'll stay on at first. Runners at first and second with nobody out, and Roseburg an opportunity to try and get back in this game, trailing 2-1 against Willamette. They play with the first baseman in front of the bag with Brooks Avery at the dish. Avery grounded out to short in the first inning. Squaring to bunt, Avery will pop it up foul. Roseburg trying to see if they can get two runners in scoring position here. In the doubleheader against Sheldon on Saturday, Avery was 3 for 4 in the second game of that doubleheader when Roseburg thought they had a win to get a split on the road, but ended up giving up a 3-run homer as Sheldon would win that one in a walk-off. No bunt now shows. Takes high and away, a 1-1 count for Avery. Those two losses against Sheldon for Roseburg took them out of title contention in the conference this year, but still trying to get a home playoff game. It's a pitch high. Avery pulled that bat back at the last second to take for a 2-1 count. Roseburg had been, it looked like they were going to be a top 10 seed going into the playoffs for most of the season, and the last week definitely took some air out of that balloon. Squaring to bunt, Avery puts it down third base side, and it will go foul. That's strike two for Brooks. Back to the dish. Roseburg sitting at number 14 in the latest OSAA power rankings, which decide the seeding for the playoffs. That would be good enough to get them a home playoff game in the first round, but that would likely be it. If Roseburg were to win, they'd probably be on the road in game 2. Barring an upset on the other side of the bracket. So they were hoping for maybe a couple of home games. We'll see if they can work their way back up. 2-2 pitch. Avery slaps that one right side, gets out of play. Two runners on base here in the bottom of the third inning. A 1-run lead right now for Willamette. Ryan Prescott on the mound trying to protect it. Out at second base, James Coleman after a leadoff walk. Hunter Fullerton at first after getting hit by a pitch. Avery takes strike 3 on a breaking ball that cuts right in to the heart of the plate. Avery goes down looking. Second strikeout in the ballgame for Ryan Prescott. Gets the first out here. And now the Willamette defense can relax just a little bit. They're looking for a double play opportunity here off the bat of Noah Fisk. He'll take well outside for ball 1. Fisk in that game 2 against Sheldon was 2 for 3 with an RBI. In the last 3 games last week, Fisk was 3 for 7, one of only 2 players to have more than 1 hit for Roseburg as they look back to second. No throw by Prescott. Last week, Roseburg, as we mentioned, just 12 hits in 3 games, batted 164 as a team. Noah Fisk and Brooks Avery, the only players that had more than 1 hit. The ball handcuffed it, flared down the first base side, foul. Chasing in, Granberry almost had a chance to get that ball before it fell to the turf for strike 1. 1-1 count, one away. Runners at first and second. Bottom of the third. Roseburg trying to either tie this game up or take a lead here in the third inning. 1-1 for Fisk. Prescott long look to second, delivers high and away. Two balls and a strike with one out. James Coleman will take his lead at second. Hunter Fullerton at first. At the plate, it's Noah Fisk trying to see if he can drive in a run, pick up an RBI. The 2-1 from Prescott. Breaking ball, called strike two. RBIs this season for Roseburg batters are brought to you by BTB Moving, providing labor services for your moving needs. Veteran-owned, affordable, dependable, efficient, and careful. They've got senior and veteran discounts available. Book now at 541-315-0122. Swung on and missed. Another big strikeout for Ryan Prescott. His third in the ballgame, two away. And after putting the first two runners on base, Ryan Prescott is one out away from getting through things here in the third. Austin Takahashi, he has definitely found himself in a bit of a slump here, much like the rest of the team. Usually one of Roseburg's top hitters. And it's been tough for him and a lot of the guys as of late. Not to pick on Austin. His batting average, .298 coming into today. 0 for 1 so far. First pitch to the lefty from the lefty, high and inside, ball one. Talk looking to try and come up with a big hit for the Tribe. He's only got 6 RBI. He's usually hitting in the leadoff position, not usually a big run-scoring spot for most teams. The 1-0. Check swing. He lays off the breaking ball at the ankles. 2-0 count. Talk does have 4 doubles on the year. That is the most on the team. A 2-0 pitch from Prescott. Just up. Elevated up around the letters on that curveball. Ryan Prescott has himself a 3-0 count against Austin Takahashi, looking to try and be careful with him with 2 away. Prescott's 3-0 pitch. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. It'll be Eli Jacobs to try and see if Roseburg can get something on the board and tie this ball game up.
Batters number 13, Eli Jacobs.
Eli Jacobs flew out to center his first time at the plate. First pitch from Prescott is high, ball one. Also going on today for Roseburg Athletics, boys lacrosse is on the road at Sheldon. Big matchup against the league leader there for the Roseburg Indians. That one started tonight at 7 o'clock is when that one will get underway. 1-0 pitch. Jacobs fouls it away. Had the timing, just couldn't quite barrel it up. And he's got the 1-1 count. Speaking of Roseburg boys lacrosse, we're going to be broadcasting their senior night game here on the video stream for those watching online. We'll have Roseburg boys lacrosse coming up on Thursday. The 1-1 pitch goes all the way to the backstop. Coleman is going to put the brakes on late and head back to third. Everyone back to the bag, a 2-1 count. That was an unfortunate location for Roseburg, very fortunate for Prescott. That ball went all the way to the backstop, bounced off the netting and kicked right back to Koffler behind the plate. And so Coleman would have had to be real speedy to get there to home before a throw. 2-1 for Jacobs is high, ball 3, and pressure on here for Ryan Prescott. He's got to find the strike zone. Otherwise, this ball game is tied. 2 away, bases loaded, a 3-1 count for Eli Jacobs. A slow roller towards second. Jacobs down the line. The throw from Peterson to Granberry is in time. On the 3-1 pitch, Eli Jacobs trying to find something he could groove. Got handcuffed and rolls out for the final out. Roseburg will leave the bases loaded as we go to the top of the fourth. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 3 men left on base. Through 3 innings of play, it's 2-1. Willamette in front of Roseburg on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Roseburg High Sports here on the Score, brought to you by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Well, Roseburg threatens in the third, cannot capitalize on bases loaded, and it'll be back to Willamette leading 2-1 with their 8-9-1 hitters coming up against Jake Johnson. First pitch to the 8-hitter, Berkeley Granberry, is outside for ball 1. Granberry struck out swinging in the second. One of 4 strikeouts in the game for Jake Johnson. Grounds one foul down the third base side. Got around and smacked that one pretty good. Willamette this season right now sitting at number 33 in the OSAA power rankings. That is going to be close to getting them into the postseason. Strike on the outside corner as sirens go blaring by. Johnson, a 1-2 count. The 1-2 to Granberry. Just off the edge, the count goes to 2-2. Willamette at 33 is on the bubble for sure. They are squarely in the bubble. Top 32 teams make it in. As a swing and a miss, got him out in front on the breaking ball. Granberry, he smacked that ground ball foul down that third base line. I thought, boy, that was maybe what he needed, starting to time it up, but Johnson got him out on the front foot with the breaking ball. Really set him up nicely there. And Granberry has now struck out twice, 1 away. First pitch bounces outside for a 1-0 to Braylon Peterson, who struck out swinging in the second inning. The 9-hitter. Out of the windup for Johnson. Gets the strike on the outside half at the knees. Top 30, it's a 32-team playoff bracket, so usually you got to be top 32 to get in to the state playoffs at the 6A level. It's a ground ball back up the middle. Fisk in front of it, throws, and it goes off the glove for Coleman. That will roll into the dugout. And so that is going to be an error on Roseburg again. And where are they going to leave the runner is my question. He was going to second base when that ball rolled into the dugout. I don't know if it doesn't look as if Willamette is trying to argue that he should be at third. So it'll be a man at second base with 1 out as Braylon Peterson will get on. One on and 1 out. Top of the order. Noah Cox takes low and inside. He is 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. Last time up, got to a 2-strike count and had a single back up the middle. The 1-0. That one lasered down the third base line for strike 1. But Willamette at 32 playing on the road against 14 Roseburg. If they were to win here, you'd think that might bump them up at least a spot or two in the power rankings. And they are looking to try and see if they can squeak their way into the state playoffs as one of the final few teams in. A breaking ball called strike 2 against Cox, and he has got the 1-2 pitch coming up. Out at second base is Braylon Peterson, on with the error. The 1-2, breaking ball swung on and missed. Another curve ball out of Johnson, and he picks up another strikeout. 2 down, and it brings up Tyson Rather.
Next batter, number 4, Tyson Rather.
Rather is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. Takes low and inside. Willamette does have South Medford, another team ranked in the top 15 right now. So they've got Roseburg at 14 and South Medford at 13, their final 2 opponents in conference play, and they're both road series. There's a ball, that ball belted high in the air towards right field. Going back is Harrison, coming in, and he will track it down. Right field can be an adventure, and Brevin Harrison getting some of his most action out in the outfield this season comes through with the final out for Roseburg. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We'll talk more about the playoff picture going forward in the conference as Roseburg and Willamette squaring off here in the final week of the regular season in the Southwest Conference. It's a 2-1 ball game. Roseburg trailing by 1 against Willamette on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
2-1 ball game here from Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg. Today's game brought to you by Roseburg Honda. Buying a car can be a hassle, but at Roseburg Honda, it's different. Customer satisfaction is their highest priority. Visit Roseburg Honda, where they treat you like family because they are family.
We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. First batter for Roseburg.
Looks like they're in the 4th inning in the softball game. It's the top of the 4th over there, and I believe Roseburg looks like they're leading 5-0 over Willamette in softball. Here in the baseball game, 2-1 score. Roseburg trying to fight back against Willamette after going down 2-0 in the top of the 1st inning. Roseburg has gotten 1 back in the 2nd. Looking to try and... They missed out on an opportunity there in the 3rd. Looking to try and get it here in the 4th. An 0-1 pitch to Parker Burke will bounce in from Ryan Prescott, who did find himself pitching through a little bit of trouble in that 3rd inning. Walked the first batter, hit the second batter, and then issued a 2-out walk. Had the bases loaded to pitch around and was able to get out of the jam. He's got a 1-1 pitch here for Parker Burke. He hits a ground ball back up the middle under the glove for Prescott. Rolls to shortstop. And there to back up the play, Noah Cox will make the out at first, 1 away. That rolled right under the glove for Prescott. I thought at first he had gotten it until it cleared him and made his way to shortstop. And there to scoop up the ball close to the bag was Cox. And a routine throw across the diamond for the out. 1 away, Jake Johnson bats. Johnson has the RBI on the day for the Tribe as he swings and misses at a breaking ball. From the lefty, that might have been a bit of a slider, maybe a bit of a slurve, cutting in at the hitter. Johnson, a sacrifice fly in the second to bring home a run. Fouls off a pitch. That came after the ground rule double by Parker Burke in that second inning. Then a pass ball moved the runner up the third, and sacrifice fly brought him in and got Roseburg within one. Slapping one right side. Johnson will get himself on his first hit, just the second of the day for Roseburg. And a runner on with one out. Just the second hit of the game for the Tribe, but Jake Johnson so far and Parker Burke have been the most effective at the plate against Ryan Prescott. Prescott gave up 5 hits the first meeting against Roseburg. Lineup looks a little bit different this go-round. 1 on, 1 away, Brevin Harrison. Starting right fielder, made the final put out. Can he turn around and take some momentum into this at-bat? Pickoff throw to first, back in. Goes Johnson. Actually, I believe they brought in a courtesy runner for the pitcher. I believe that is Caden Austin. Another pickoff throw, almost thrown away by Prescott. Is that Austin running at first? Yes, okay. Caden Austin running at first base for Roseburg. First pitch here, a strike against Harrison. Third baseman Brody Butler plays in on the grass. Harrison takes outside, 1-1 count. Butler might be playing to protect from a possible bunt attempt here from Harrison. 1 out, 1 on. Prescott delivers Harrison. A good rip at that one, sends it into the backstop. Roseburg softball looking pretty good, as we mentioned. They were on top. It looked like 5. The scoreboard's light bulbs are always a little deceiving, but I'm pretty sure that's a 5 up there. We're going to be talking some Roseburg softball coming up tomorrow night here on the radio. 1-2 pitch. Inside to Harrison, scooting out of the way. Tomorrow night, it's another episode of DC Sports Spotlight here on The Score, starting at 6 o'clock. Emma Murphy from the Roseburg softball team going to be one of our guests on that show. Carter Stedman, our intern from Roseburg High this year. We'll sit down and talk with Emma. Pitch outside, 3-2 count for Brevin Harrison. Emma's one of our guests, and we're also talking some softball with Douglas senior Kira Bennett. She's going to be one of our guests tomorrow as the Douglas softball team looking to make a big push at the end of the year to get into the postseason. 3-2. Swung on, foul tipped into the glove for strike 3, and down goes Harrison. His second strikeout in the ball game.
Next batter, number 18, James Coleman.
Brings up James Coleman. Coleman drew a walk his first time up. He bats with 2 outs and 1 on. Takes high. That was the 4th strikeout in the game for Prescott. As he got Harrison. Breaking ball, long looping breaking ball. Coleman freezing at the plate, watches it go by for a strike. So tomorrow night here on The Score, tune in for DC Sports Spotlight. We're talking a little bit of softball with Kara Bennett from Douglas and Emma Murphy from Roseburg. It's a ball thrown all the way to the backstop. Will allow the runner to move up to second base. A 2-1 count for James Coleman. That's Caden Austin running for Jake Johnson. Wild pitch, moving him up 90 feet. Now, I'm not sure if there's Coach Tim Sester at first base is trying to make a complaint about something to do with the hitter, or I'm not sure what the complaint is about there for Coach Sester. But he wasn't happy that I think something not getting spotted by today's officiating crew. It's a 2-1 count right now for James Coleman here in the bottom of the fourth. It's a 2-1 ball game. Willamette in front. Man now at second base for the Tribe. Coleman fouls one back. That one hitting off of the guardrail behind home, rattling things there. 2-2 count with 2 down for James Coleman, who walked his first time up. Coleman trying to be a hero here and tie this one up, or at least get himself on base and keep the inning going. The 2-2 pitch from Prescott, low and inside, stepping out of the way. Coleman, that somehow missed his feet. I'm not sure how that was the case. That ball way inside at the shoelaces. Coleman able to get his shoe tops out of the way. Stands back in. It's a 3-2 count. Check swing. Home plate will say he went around for strike 3. Chased well outside the zone there for Coleman. It would have been a walk to put runners at first and second. Roseburg will leave one runner on. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. The 1 man left on base. And we go to the top of the 5th. It's still 2-1. Willamette in front of Roseburg on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs. Going to the top of the 5th inning, Jake Johnson has held Willamette off the board since the first. He'll get a sharp ground ball first base side past James Coleman into right field. And Brevin Harrison sends it back in. A leadoff single for Ryan Prescott to start things off here in the 5th inning as we welcome you back to Roseburg's champion Car Wash Field. Prescott got around on that pitch. The lefty pulls it right down the line for the leadoff single. Joey Garboden will bat. Hits with 1 on and nobody out. Squares to bunt, lays it down third base side. Barehanded by Johnson. Gets it to first in time for the out. Up to second base does go Prescott. Sack bunt for Garboden, who was 2 for 2 coming into the at-bat. 1 away.
14, Travis Grantham.
Brings up Travis Grantham. Grantham comes in 0 for 2 in the ball game. Bats with a man in scoring position and just 1 out. Swings through the first pitch. It's been the top of the order that's been doing most of the damage for the Wolverines. 0-1 count for Grantham. Johnson misses high and away. Jake gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error in that first inning since he has been able to pitch around 3 hits since that first inning for Willamette. But but has been able to keep the Wolverines off the scoreboard. Can he do it again here in the fifth? The 1-1 out in front, waving at a breaking ball well outside. Grantham falls behind 1-2. Johnson already 6 strikeouts in the ball game, looking for number 7 here. It'd be a big one. Takes a long look at Prescott at second. Off speed, strike 3. Home plate says he went around. Travis Grantham can't hold up his second strikeout in the ball game. 2 away. Willamette will look to Braden Rather, who will try to get something going after a leadoff single by Ryan Prescott. Rather, first pitch swinging. Out towards right field, long run, and Brevin Harrison will make the grab to finish off the frame. Leadoff single goes for naught for Ryan Prescott, as the rest of the team can't pick him up. And they leave one man stranded. No runs on the one hit, no errors, and 1 man left on for the Wolverines. Bottom of the 5th, Roseburg trailing by 1 on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
From a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to. By hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations. Top of the Hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
From Roseburg's Champion Car Wash Field, Roseburg Baseball brought to you by Flyaway Travel. When you get ready to take that dream trip, contact the travel experts at Travel Leader Flyaway Travel. Make sure you've got an agent in your corner during these complicated travel times. Flyaway, 672-5701. Into the bottom of the 5th inning, Roseburg trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Right now trailing Willamette 2-1. Roseburg had not lost back-to-back games all season, and so there, of course, this is their first 3-game losing streak of the year. First pitch swinging for Hunter Fullerton, fouled back behind home. Hunter hit by a pitch his first time at the plate, and an at-bat where he had shown a couple of times that he was trying to sacrifice a runner over. The 0-1 pitch, strike, inner half right under the hands. (0-2) count. To lead things off in the 5th inning, the 9-hitter at the plate. And Prescott misses the handle on that one, sent it skipping through the left-handed batter's box. 2 baseballs coming at him, and he lets them both go by. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hunter Fullerton. Brooks Avery, Noah Fisk waiting to come up to bat here in the 5th. 0-2 count for Hunter. Trying to get something started here. Roseburg just needs to put together a couple of hits. Start seeing it happen. Kind of like a basketball player. Sometimes they just need to see one go in, and then things get going from there. You'd like to think for Roseburg's hitting, just need to see a couple consecutively, or at least in an inning, and see things going from there. Off the nub of the bat on the hands, Fullerton thought he got hit by a pitch again. He said it hit his forearm. The umpire is going to look at his forearm here. It looked like it might have hit off the end of his bat. Fullerton's going to head down to first. We're going to wait to see what the conclusion of the discussion is here, whether or not he was hit by a pitch or not. Out of the dugout, I believe, is Robert Cantwell for Willamette to ask what the conclusion was here for the at-bat for Fullerton. That ball came in at the hands. My initial assumption from up here in the booth was that it hit off of the bottom of the bat, the nub underneath the hands. And the hands are part of the bat. That nub, that's all part of the bat. So if it hits off of that, it's a foul ball. But Fullerton turned and showed him a forearm, and he must have had a mark on his forearm that showed he got hit by the pitch. And so that's how it's going to stand. Fullerton will get on base for a second time with the hit by pitch from Ryan Prescott. Game-tying run on at first for Roseburg to lead things off here in the fifth, and they've got the top of their order coming up to bat. Prime spot here for the Tribe to try and get something going. Brooks Avery will stand in 0 for 2, struck out looking his last time. Does square to bunt, he takes high and away. Playing in at third is Brody Butler. Fullerton, a good runner at first. Prescott delivers. Squaring to bunt. Down that first base side, foul for Avery. 1-1 count as we'll reset back at home. One count, bottom of the fifth with a runner on base. Time called for Coach Sestair to talk here real quick with Avery. Today's ball game brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. That's Fisher's Hearth and Home. 1-1 count. Hunter Fullerton at first, Brooks Avery at the plate. Avery looking for his first hit of the day. He's a tough guy to keep down. He squares to bunt again, trying to lay down that sac bunt, and he is having a hard time trying to make that happen. Roseburg trying to play small ball, manufacture a run here. Butler will still play in on the grass with 2 strikes. No, now he'll back off just a little bit. Prescott. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball towards third. They will go to second, will not get the out there. Late decision by Butler. Fullerton putting the pressure on, and Butler, that ball slow to him, probably should have just taken the automatic out at first. Instead throws to second, throws high. Might have been able to get it there in time to get Fullerton at second base, but he threw high. That had Peterson off the bag trying to get to the baseball, and he could not get back down on the pillow in time. So that will be a fielder's choice for Brooks Avery. Avery gets on. Noah Fisk will bat. There are 2 runners on base with nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth, and Roseburg, once again, a prime opportunity to try and tie this one up. Fisk squares to bunt. He'll pop one foul as he goes outside the zone to get to that ball. Oh, 1 count, and Roseburg. Tomorrow might be bunting class here for the Roseburg Indians. Today has not been their finest hour trying to lay down bunts. Had a hard time getting them down in fair territory. Having a hard time to just get them down on the turf. Most of them have been popped up in foul territory. Breaking the action, a visit out to the mound for the Willamette coaching staff here. While we've got a moment, remind you that coming up once we go off the air, Oregon State baseball. They just got underway at 5:35. Oregon State at Ron Tonkin Field in Hillsboro today to take on the University of Portland Pilots in a non-conference matchup. Should be a good one there. The Pilots a pretty decent team. That one from the minor league ballpark for the Hillsboro Hops. Got started at 5:35. We'll have coverage of Oregon State baseball coming up for you at the conclusion of our ball game. Probably looking like it'll be a little after 6 o'clock, but we'll try to wrap things up quickly to be able to get you to to Oregon State baseball coming up here on The Score. After the visit, back to the plate, Noah Fisk, an 0-1 count. Ryan Prescott on the mound with runners at first and second. Fisk shows late. They throw to second base, and it's not in time. An absolute strike to second base for Ryan Prescott there. It's a darn good thing he had a teammate there to collect that baseball, as he sent that over there with a little bit of zip on it. 0-1 pitch. Fisk showed the bunt the last time. Squares now. Lays it down third base side. Pick up, throw to third. They get the out there. Covering the bag was the shortstop, Noah Cox. So Roseburg can't execute the sacrifice bunt to move 2 runners into scoring position. They get Fullerton at third, Fisk on with a fielder's choice. 1 away, and it brings up Austin Takahashi.
Next batter will be number 14, Austin Takahashi.
So 1 out. Takahashi with 1 swing of the bat could tie this one up. A base hit for him. Could possibly bring in Brooks Avery from second. Roseburg trying to get something going. We do have some action going in the bullpen for Willamette here in the bottom of the 5th. Middle infielders holding on Avery as Talk will step out of the box. Peterson and Cox out there, both dancing around behind Avery. On the mound, Prescott takes his time. No pitch clock in high school baseball. Much like Major League Baseball nowadays. The first pitch to Takahashi buzzes the tower for ball 1. Talk so far today, 0 for 1. Drew a walk in the 3rd inning. Trying to lay down a bunt in the 1st, went right back to the mound for the final out of the 1st inning. A 1-0 pitch to Takahashi. Breaking ball sits on the inside corner from the lefty to the left-handed batter. This Willamette team, as mentioned at the start of the broadcast, trying to get some of their best baseball underneath them going there at the end of the season, trying to make it into the postseason. They are 5-3 over their last 8 games, and they are carrying momentum into this Roseburg game. Takahashi belts one high in the air out towards right field. That ball going back towards the wall. Catch made by Braden Rather. Tagging and heading for third will go Avery. Back to first goes Fisk. Runners on the corners. Talk gave that ball a ride. One of the hardest balls we've seen him hit all season. Unfortunately, Rather able to get back to the baseball in time. There's 2 down, and it'll bring up Eli Jacobs. That ball was crushed, and in a lot of ballparks, it might have been gone. Here at Champion Car Wash Field, the stadium will contain a lot of those. And it looked as if Braden Rather at first was maybe not going to be able to catch up with that baseball, but it hung up there long enough for him to run underneath it. Eli Jacobs 0 for 2 today. Has a chance to try and tie this game up with Avery on at third. Racing back and forth down the line. First pitch fouled away. Off the mask of the catcher, Caden Koffler. Jacobs trying to barrel up something, see if he can bring in a run. The other thing to be attentive to is Prescott on the mound has thrown a few to the backstop. If he gets a little cautious throwing to Eli Jacobs, the cleanup hitter, maybe something gets by to allow Avery to score. The 0-1, high and away. That's how Roseburg did take advantage of opportunities against Sheldon in Game 2 of that doubleheader on Saturday. Didn't really drive in a lot of their own runs. They took advantage of errors to score, but right now you got to do anything to break out of this funk. The 1-1, Jacobs takes a breaking ball slow, high and away. 2 balls, 1 strike to Eli Jacobs. Ooh, things have gotten out of control in that softball game over there. I think it may be done. Pitch low to Jacobs, 3 balls and a strike. Yeah, I think they're having their post-game meetings over there, done after 5, 11-0, Roseburg a winner against Willamette. 3-1 pitch to Eli Jacobs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. It's great to get the bases loaded, but you'd really like to see Roseburg get the bats going here at some point to try and drive in a run. They've had their chances here in the last couple of innings and just have not been able to put something in play to make something happen. It'll be up to Parker Burke to try and drive in a run. He's got the ground rule double, first hit of the game for the Tribe, and one of just 2 for Roseburg in this contest. First pitch from Prescott. Misses outside with his curveball. A 2-1 lead right now for Willamette. 1-0 high. Prescott obviously nowhere to put a runner. That's going to be in the back of his mind, that's for sure. Bases loaded with 2 down, the 2-0 to Burke. Just off the edge of the plate, and the count goes 3-0. So Prescott has to bring a strike here, otherwise this is a tie ball game. He'll quickly get the signal and sets on the 3-0. Does get the strike across. Prescott, a competitor out there, getting himself fired up. A first-team All-League selection last year in the Midwest League. He gets a foul ball for Burke on the 3-1. That one, I think, caught the catcher, ricocheted off of him. Might hit him off of one of his legs or another spot not as well protected as the chest protector usually gives you. Bottom of the 5th, big moment here in the ball game. It's a 2-1 score. Willamette in front of Roseburg. Bases loaded with 2 outs. And a 3-2 pitch coming up for Parker Burke. Doesn't get much bigger than this. Runners will be moving on the pitch to the plate. Prescott's 3-2 delivery. That ball fouled away, and we'll do it again. Parker, he belted that ground rule double down the left field line, bounced it out of the park here. One of his hardest hit balls of the season. 3-2 pitch to him from Prescott. Ball 4, breaking ball, stays high, and Roseburg will tie it up on a bases-loaded walk. Got to be happy they're able to get there, but if this team wants to have success going forward, obviously you've got to get these bats going, and that, to me, is definitely a big issue. But got to manufacture runs when you can as well, and Roseburg does so there on a bases-loaded walk to Parker Burke. And brings up Jake Johnson, who had a single in the 4th. First pitch swinging to him. He grounds one slow towards third, picked up by Brody Butler, who touches the bag just ahead of Eli Jacobs to retire Roseburg here in the 5th. But the Tribe does score and tie this one up. It is 2-2 as we head to the 6th inning on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
Top of the sixth inning, tie ball game now, 2-2. Before we get things started here in the sixth, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg Baseball on the Score. Top of the sixth inning for Willamette. It'll be Koffler, Granberry, and Peterson due up against Jake Johnson, who remains in the ballgame for the Tribe, pitching here today. First pitch swinging, fouled away. Koffler 0 for 2 in the game, flew out to center field his last time up. The 0-1 missing for a 1-1 count. Ball hit towards left field. And running to the foul line. To his right, underneath it, Hunter Fullerton. There to retire Caden Koffler out in left field, one away. Today's ball game brought to you by our friends at DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop.
Check that. We got to do better.
In the 8th spot, well, it looks like we're getting a pinch hitter.
Jackson Dowdy.
Coming up to bat. Jackson Dowdy, it sounds like. A freshman. He sits on a breaking ball, fouls it away for strike one. Dowdy taking over for Berkeley Granberry. The 0-1. Strike. Breaking ball on the outside corner. The 0-2. That pitch didn't miss by much for Jake Johnson. A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. There is strike 3. Dowdy goes down looking. 8th strikeout in the game for Jake Johnson. A sophomore right-hander.
Number 2, Braylon Peterson.
Trying to protect a tie ball game now. Roseburg back in this one after that bases loaded walk. Breaking ball low and outside for ball 1. Did he go? No, he did not, according on the appeal. Braylon Peterson. 1-0 pitch. He'll ground one towards short. In front of it, Brooks Avery over to first. Got him. And staying on the bag is James Coleman at first base. Almost came off, but he does get back on the bag in time. A 1-2-3 frame. Roseburg building a little momentum there. Can they take it to the plate with them as we go to the bottom of the 6th in a tie ball game? 2-2 here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Ryan Prescott still throwing for the Wolverines as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Checking in around the conference, South Medford leading North Medford 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th in that game. But North Medford just got the game-tying run on at first at an error at shortstop for the Panthers. So South Medford is 3 outs away from securing a big win over North Medford if they can finish it off, but they lead by just 1 in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, swinging a foul ball for Brevin Harrison, who's 0 for 2 today. Harrison facing Ryan Prescott for a third time. The 0-1. Swung on and missed, chasing upstairs. Roseburg just 2 hits so far in the ball game against Prescott, but he has walked 4 and hit 1 batter. Roseburg's been able to manufacture a couple of runs here. The 0-2, Harrison fouls it away, stays alive. Roseburg getting a run across in the 5th inning on a bases-loaded 2-out walk to tie up the game. And then had a 1-out ground rule double in the 2nd, a pass ball, and then a sac fly to score the first run of the game for the Tribe. 0-2 pitch here to Harrison. Takes low and outside, watches it for ball 1. North Medford now has the game-tying run at second base in that matchup. Still nobody out. The 1-2, Harrison pulls one towards third, scooped up by Butler. Long throw across the diamond in time. Harrison gets one in play, but can't get it past the third baseman. Retired for the first out here in the 6th. Today's ball game is brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. For Roseburg, it'll bring up James Coleman, the 8-hitter, starting first baseman for the Tribe today. He takes high. Coleman had a walk back in the 3rd inning. The 1-0 pitch from Prescott is a little elevated again, 2-0 count. Prescott, deepest he went 5 1/3 innings against Roseburg the first time the two teams met, so he's matched that length of the outing against the Tribe. They do have an arm warming up in the bullpen for Willamette. 3-0 pitch to James, and he will take ball 4. So a 1-out walk, second of the game issued for Coleman. He gets on at first. That's the 5th walk in the game for Prescott. And here comes a visit to the mound for the Wolverines. That's the go-ahead run for Roseburg. Going to be a play at the plate for North Medford and South Medford. And I believe with 1 out, North Medford has just tied this game up at 2-2. And they've got the game-winning run at second base with just 1 away. So that is a check-in around the conference there as North Medford is now 1 run away from walking off with a Southwest Conference title. We get a call to the pen here in our ball game. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 2-2. And we're going to get a new man on the mound for the Willamette Wolverines. All pitching changes are brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza in Roseburg. Pizza the way it ought to be. We'll come back and get you all the details on the change after this 60-second timeout on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
Coming up Saturday here at the ballpark, we'll be celebrating Senior Day for Roseburg baseball. Graduation is coming up, and if you'd like to do something special for your senior graduate, it's time now to put in your submission for the grad notice, the paper in the News Review. I wrote down some notes on this, but obviously I apparently don't know exactly what to call it. They honor graduates in the newspaper, and if you'd like to honor a senior that is graduating this year, whether it be from Roseburg High School or any of the other area schools, you can put in a notice in the newspaper. They'll have a photo and a little bit of a blurb on the graduate. The deadline is May 16th to get that in. So you want to go to nrtoday.com for details on getting that. It starts at $30 to get a grad notice in the paper this year for the class of 2023. All right, new man on the mound is Joey Garbodin. He'll face Hunter Fullerton with a runner at first and one away. Tie ball game. Fullerton pushes a bunt first base side. This could be trouble, and Fullerton will beat it out. He gets a base knock. And Hunter Fullerton has been on base all three times, been hit by a pitch twice, and now a bunt single. And he is on, and there are two runners on for Roseburg with one away. Joey Garbodin takes over on the mound. The defensive change, Berkeley Granberry came back into the game defensively after getting pinch hit for. He moves to third. And Ryan Prescott's playing at first base. That's your defensive changes there. Runners at first and second with one out, and it's the top of the order. Brooks Avery standing in. Got on base with a fielder's choice and scored the game-tying run on a bases-loaded walk. Avery looking for his first hit. Squares to bunt, takes outside. So Granberry has moved to third. I think Brody Butler comes out of the game because the DH was Garbodin, and he comes into the game. So a third baseman who was getting hit for comes out. So Granberry at third, Prescott at first defensively. 1-0 pitch here as they throw it back to second. Almost thrown into left field. Sorry, make that center field. Back in safely was... They've got a pinch runner out at second base for James Coleman. That is Caden Austin again running out there. It's a 1-0 pitch to Brooks Avery. Garbodin, a couple of checks, throws in. That ball goes off the glove for the catcher, and everybody will move up 90 feet. Pass ball for Caden Koffler. 2-0 count for Avery. So the pinch runner is Caden Austin. He makes his way to third on the pass ball. Hunter Fullerton's at second. At the plate, Brooks Avery with a 2-0 count. Bottom of the sixth here, Roseburg trying to take its first lead of the game. A 2-0 pitch. Avery puts one in the air, not deep enough to drive in a run. Second baseman Braylon Peterson makes the call and catches just shy of the outfield grass. 2 down. Well, looks like South Medford did not give up the game-winning run to North Medford, despite a lot of pressure from the Black Tornado, and they're headed to extra innings down at Jim Maccabee Field at North Medford High School. Here at Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, it's a 2-2 ball game with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Noah Fisk at the plate for Roseburg. First pitch, a breaking ball, knocked down by Caden Koffler. Doesn't escape him. Runner's not able to try and advance there. A 1-0 count for Noah Fisk. Fisk 0 for 3 today, reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Tried to lay down a bunt. They got the lead runner at third instead. The 1-0. Grounder towards third. Granberry, time to throw to first. We'll get it to Prescott, and we remain tied in our ball game. Roseburg was able to get a couple of runners on. They can't bring anybody home, and it's tied 2-2 as we go to the final frame of regulation. Top of the 7th coming up. Willamette will have the top of their order due up against Jake Johnson on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs. Top of the 7th inning. Roseburg in a tie ball game, 2-2 with Willamette. And it'll be the top of the Wolverines' order to try and get the lead back in favor. As at the plate, a 1-0 count to start things off for Noah Cox as he takes a breaking ball high. Jake Johnson on the mound out of his windup. 1-0, ground ball, left side in front of it. Backhand across the diamond for Brooks Avery. 6-3 the put out. Cox, after starting off with a 2 for 2 day, now a 2-4 on the season. Or excuse me, on the day.
Batter's number 4, Tyson Rather.
Going to bring up Tyson Rather with 1 out and nobody on. First pitch to the lefty is low, ball 1. Been quite the pitcher's duel here in between these two clubs. The 1-0, squaring to bunt, fouled away. And Tyson Rather, the center fielder, will have a 1-1 count. The 1-1 from Johnson, low and outside. Jake allowed 2 runs in the first inning, gave up 4 straight hits to start out the ball game. An error in there didn't help out as well. As a ball, hard hit's going to find the alley out towards right center. Drops in front of Brevin Harrison, the right fielder, for a single for Rather. He gets his second hit of the game. Ever since that first inning, after giving up 4 straight hits, Jake Johnson has now given up 4 hits the rest of the way. 1 hit in the second, third, the 5th, and now here in the 7th. 8 hits total, 4 of them coming in the first inning for Willamette. They get a runner on at first. That would be the go-ahead, possibly winning run. Ryan Prescott at the plate will take outside for ball 1. Dangerous hitter up to bat for the Wolverines. Its top of the order has been the dangerous part for Willamette. Breaking ball, got him to swing, foul it away, couldn't barrel that one up. Prescott with a double down the right field line and a single down that right field line. His double was deep down the line. His single, one hopped past James Coleman down that first base side. A 1-1 pitch, pickoff throw to first by Johnson. Here in the top of the 7th. Willamette led 2-0 early. Roseburg got 1 run back in the bottom of the 2nd and tied it up in the 5th. But we're all squared here in the 7th. Roseburg's had plenty of opportunities. Roseburg's left 9 runners on base in this ball game. Twice have left the bases loaded. Could not come through. Willamette right now with 1 out and a runner on trying to come through. The 1-1, runner going, throw to second by Burke. Got it at second base. As he was sliding in, the tag applied as he came streaming by the bag. Brooks Avery able to get the tag down and tag out Tyson Rather to clear the bases. 2 down, nobody on. And I believe it's a 2-1 count. 2-1 is the count for Ryan Prescott as he will dig back in. A 2-1 high and away from Johnson. And takes some of the pressure off here in the top of the 7th, especially with the dangerous hitter at the plate. Left-hander Prescott waits on the 3-1 from Johnson. Takes a breaking ball, drops in at the top of the zone. Roseburg softball players making their way here to catch the tail end of our game. They won big against Willamette earlier. 3-2 pitch. Prescott gets underneath one. Out towards center, not very hard hit. Going out, Avery. The shortstop makes the catch for the final out. And Roseburg will go to the bottom of the 7th inning with a chance to walk off with a win. They get through things in the top of the 7th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Still tied 2-2. Going to the bottom of the 7th on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
From a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to. By hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations. Top of the Hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
A game like this might just be what Roseburg needed to try and get them out of this funk, trying to end a 3-game losing skid, trying to get some positive momentum going. And it hasn't necessarily been pretty, but they're trying to prove to themselves they can get back in the win column here. And right now it's a 2-2 ball game and an opportunity to walk off with an emotional victory over Willamette. Leading things off will be Austin Takahashi for the Tribe. He faces Joey Garbodin, who's come on in relief of Ryan Prescott back in the 6th inning. So the first time facing the new man, Takahashi takes outside for ball 1. Today's video stream of Roseburg Baseball brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. We appreciate their sponsorship. The 1-0. Talk swings through. Talk 0 for 2 in the game. Last time hit a bomb out towards right field deep, but it was playable for Braden Rather. The 1-1 from Garbodin. Ground ball back up the middle, gets into center field. A leadoff single for Takahashi. Talk will get on. 4th hit in the ballgame for Roseburg. First on the day for Takahashi. Bring up Eli Jacobs. 0 for 2 today. Eli walked his last time at the plate. Sun's still shining here in Roseburg. Should be for probably another hour plus. Squaring to bunt. Jacobs puts it back to the mound. The pitcher slipped. Wanted to try and throw to second. Lost his balance. Makes the play to first. And Prescott over there had to make a grab around Jacobs. But he was able to make that play, so Eli Jacobs lays down a sac bunt. And they get the out at first. Austin Takahashi will move to second. So the game-tying run is in scoring position for Roseburg. 1 out, 1 on, tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Kick and fire for Garbodin, in for a strike called on the inside corner to Parker Burke, who is had a nice day at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a ground rule double. Also had an RBI on a bases loaded walk to tie the game in the 5th. Stands in with the 0-1 count. The 0-1. Burke fouls it away. 0-2 count for Parker. Roseburg trying to end this 3-game losing streak. Get win number 17 on the year, number 10 in conference play. 0-2 pitch for Burke. Garbodin on the mound. Takes a look at Takahashi at second. Ground ball towards third. Talk way off the bag, but they don't throw to second to get him there. Throw goes to first to get Burke on a play by Granberry. Granberry snagged that one easily. Talk was well off the bag. They might have had him in a rundown if they had decided to go that way, but instead got the out at first. There's 2 away. Jake Johnson stands in, an opportunity to try and possibly end this one and get himself his 5th victory of the season. But he's got to get a base hit here. Breaking ball hits the inside corner for Garbodin. Takahashi out at second base this season. Talk with 9 stolen bases. 90% on the season for stolen bases. I believe he's had one where he's taken third before. The 0-1 to Johnson. Another breaking ball. Curveball hits that inside corner right in the same spot. Johnson finds himself down 0-2. (0-2) count with 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, game-winning run at second base. Jake Johnson waits on Garbodin. Runner takes off from second, throw to third, not in time, and in safely goes Takahashi. On the 0-2 pitch, he decided to go, and that throw was almost into left field. Roseburg putting some pressure on. Takahashi, a stolen base, number 10 on the year for him. He's 90 feet from home, puts a little pressure on Garbodin here, nothing can get by. A 1-2 to Jake Johnson. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout and a K strut there for Joey Garbodin. And we are heading to extra innings. Here from Champion Car Wash Field through regulation, it is tied at 2. We go to the top of the 8th inning on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage.
A multimedia enterprise, web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.com.
To go to the top of the 8th inning now. First up for Willamette.
Extra innings here from Champion Car Wash Field. Jake Johnson still throwing for Roseburg. Will fire in and gets a foul ball by Joey Garbodin for strike one. As we welcome you back here, Joey Keyran with you on the score. Breaking ball, lifted towards right field, going back, settling underneath it. Brevin Harrison is there to retire Garbodin. And that is the first out in the 8th inning for Willamette. That brings up Travis Grantham. First pitch, Grantham takes a breaking ball for a strike. Grantham 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts so far. Takes low and outside from Johnson. I would have to imagine one of the longest outings for Johnson this season. Not sure where he's at on his pitch count. I don't keep that up here. They do down in the dugout. 1-1, swung on and missed for strike two. The 1-2, just a little high. Two count. Check swing. Home plate says he went around, and not happy about it is Travis Grantham, as he's going to head to the dugout as a strikeout victim for Johnson. That is strikeout number 9 in the game. 2 down. I mean, he's looking to make it a 1-2-3 frame here against Braden Rather. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Swings through the first pitch. The 0-1, just outside, despite the best efforts there from Parker Burke behind the plate. The 1-1, that will catch the outside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rather, Braden Rather. Ground ball up the middle for him. Behind second, the throw to first by Brooks Avery. Right there to James Coleman. And the top of the 8th inning is pretty uneventful for Willamette as they go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Jake Johnson through 8 innings. Has Roseburg still in this one. A 2-2 ball game going to the bottom of the 8th on 541radio.com and on the score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Free baseball for you here this afternoon from Champion Car Wash Field as we go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. Joey Keyran here with you. Want to say thank you to our sponsor, BTB Moving. They provide labor services for your moving needs. Veteran-owned, affordable, dependable, efficient, and careful. Senior and veteran discounts are available, so book now at 541-315-0122 or find them on Facebook at BTB Moving. Whether you need help moving your stuff from across town, across the county, or across the state, they're there to help you. That's BTB Moving. It'll be Brevin Harrison to lead things off for the Tribe here in the 8th inning. His 4th at-bat, facing Joey Garbodin for the first time. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play for strike 1. Harrison and Coleman are the last two batters to face Joey Garbodin for the first time today. Garbodin came in the 6th inning, and he has faced 7 hitters so far. This will be his 8th. The 0-1 pitch for the righty out of his windup. Hits the inside corner with a breaking ball. Strike 2 for Brevin Harrison. Harrison grounded out in the 6th inning. First time getting the barrel on the ball to put something in play. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, his 3rd strikeout of the day. 2nd strikeout for Garbodin. 1 out here in the 8th. Harrison might be the first option out of the bullpen for Roseburg going into the 9th inning if that is the case. James Coleman will try to get something going, though. Roseburg can win it if they get a hit and bring in somebody. Coleman sends this one deep out towards left center, but it's caught by Tyson Rather for the 2nd out. James got behind that one a bit, but not quite enough. 2 down, and it brings up Hunter Fullerton. 1 for 1 on the day. A push bunt for a base hit back in the 6th inning. One of many innings where Roseburg had runners on base in scoring position but could not bring them around. This game could have easily ended in regulation with Roseburg on top. First pitch, strike 1 to Fullerton. Garbodin. The 0-1 pitch, fouled off. Ryan Prescott, the starter, now at first base for Willamette, will not factor into the decision today for the Wolverines. Jake Johnson may be losing his opportunity to get a win in this game. He may be out of pitches and may be coming out of this one here in the 9th if that's where we go. 0-2 pitch. Fullerton hits a grounder to 3rd, picked up by Granberry, and he tosses across. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Willamette defensively, and Roseburg unable to break the tie. So we go to the 9th inning. It's tied 2-2. And coming up to bat for Willamette, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. They will face Jake Johnson, who's still on the mound for the Tribe. Back after a 60-second timeout on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
Jake Johnson on the mound for the Tribe into his 9th inning of work. He faces Caden Koffler, the catcher for Willamette. Starts off with a 1-0 count. Johnson misses outside. 2 balls, no strike. Koffler 0 for 3 in the game. His 4th trip to the dish. The 2-0. That bounces outside. 3-0 count for Jake. Jake has 1 walk in this ball game. His 3-0 pitch is down the middle for a strike. Longest outing for sure for him this season. He's got to be getting close to the end of his pitch count limit. So he gets a ball popped up, foul out of play. And it's a 3-2 count now against Koffler, battling his way back here. Jake Johnson trying to get the first out here in the 9th. They're in the 9th inning in that South Medford and North Medford game. As there is ball 4 issued by Johnson. Just his second walk of the day. Koffler gets on at first. And here comes Zach Mandera out of the bullpen. Looking like we might see a change here. Jake Johnson, if this is it for him, been a heck of a day on the mound, and the youngster will hand over the baseball to Coach Mandera. And we get our first call to the pen for Roseburg here this afternoon. Jake Johnson will get a round of applause. He will exit the ball game, leaving one man on base. Brevin Harrison will take over on the mound. He inherits the one runner on as he comes out of right field, and we'll see how things change defensively for Roseburg. We'll take a 60-second break for this pitching change, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Back after this on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas.
Packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving, for all your moving needs. Taking over for Roseburg on the mound will be Brevin Harrison, the junior right-hander, has thrown 10 2/3 innings of relief, making his 6th appearance on the season. He's got a 1.31 ERA, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks in those 10 2/3 innings. No wins, no losses, no saves on the season for Harrison. He will take over with the go-ahead run on first base. And nobody out here in the 9th inning. Checking in down south at Jim Maccabee Field. It's a 3-2 win for North Medford. And the Black Tornado will be your champions in 2023 in the Southwest Conference. They walk it off in the 9th inning in that game with a victory. So congratulations to North Medford on winning the Southwest Conference crown here in 2023. Harrison will face Berkeley Granberry, now the third baseman for Willamette. Strike call, throw down to first base by Burke is not going to be in time. A 1-1 count for Granberry. Out at first base is Caden Koffler, I believe. Let's see if they brought in a runner for him. It looks like they may have. Pitch just misses for Harrison. 2 balls and a strike. Running at first base is Nicholas Banville, courtesy runner. Squaring to bunt, fouled away by Granberry, and it's a 2-2 count. So they do bring in a courtesy runner for the catcher at first. That's the go-ahead run. Roseburg obviously will have their chance to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning no matter what happens here. The 2-2 breaking ball in for strike 3. Going down looking is Granberry. And that 8 spot in the lineup has not been kind to the Wolverines. That's 4 strikeouts for that spot. 3 of them for Granberry, 1 for Jackson Dowdy, who batted in a pinch hit appearance in the 6th. 1 out. Breaking ball for a called strike to the 9-hitter, Braylon Peterson for Willamette. Big out there for Harrison. Gets that. Now Roseburg is a ground ball out from getting out of things here in the 9th. Runner not going, and he put the brakes on. He faked as if he was going, put the brakes on, bunt at the plate. Peterson fouls it away for strike 2, and back to first base will go Koffler. Excuse me, not Koffler, but Banville running out there for him. 0-2 pitch for Harrison. Just off the edge. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. The runner off the bag at first. Throw down that way. Not in time. In safely goes Banville. Strikeout at the plate for Peterson. Back-to-back strikeouts for Harrison. And that'll bring up Noah Cox, the leadoff man, 2 for 4 in the game. Off speed on the first pitch. Called strike on the outside corner for Cox. Here in the top of the ninth. Line drive out towards center. It'll land in front of Eli Jacobs. The runner makes it to second. Will dive back in. Banville at second base. And a two-out single for Noah Cox. Smart play out there in center field by Eli Jacobs. Could see him loading up for a moment, thinking I'm going to dive to try and get to this baseball. But nobody backing him up, and if that ball gets by, that's the go-ahead runner moving around and possibly coming in to score. So played it safe, made sure the runners didn't get extra bases, and lived to see another day with a new batter at the plate. First pitch outside to the lefty, Tyson Rather, who is 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles and a walk. Scored a run in the first inning. 1-0 from Harrison. Hits the outside edge. One for Harrison. Runners at first and second. Inside, knocked down by Burke. He'll track it down the third base line. So if Roseburg can battle their way for a win here today, they would move into a tie with South Medford for second place in the conference standings, and both teams would have a one-game lead on Sheldon, who would be in fourth place. 2-1 pitch, ground ball up the middle. It gets into center field. Jacobs comes up, and he throw to the plate. The throw gets by, no one backing it up. One run scores, a second run coming to the plate, and it's thrown away. Nobody's backing up the play. 2 runs have scored. Willamette will get a third run to come in on a couple of errors. Scoring on the play will be Tyson Rather. Three runs come in on a base hit. And it's 5-2. Willamette in front here in the top of the ninth with 2 outs. And Ryan Prescott will come up to bat.
Next batter's number 24.
Banville scored from second on the play. It's an RBI single for Tyson Rather. And now Roseburg calls time to calm everybody down. So it's an RBI single for Tyson Rather. He advances to second on the throw to the plate. Throw to the plate got away. That allowed Noah Cox to score. And then allowed Rather to advance to third. And then on the throwing error by Noah or Parker Burke, excuse me. That allowed another run to come in to score. 1-1 count here for Ryan Prescott. So 2 errors all along that play, and Tyson Rather scores all the way from home. 1-1 to Prescott, breaking ball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on base. 3 runs in. Roseburg will have work to do in the bottom of the ninth. Swing and a miss for Prescott. He got everything he could on that swing. The only thing he didn't get was the baseball. That was quite the cut there by the number 3 hitter. Prescott takes outside. Count goes full. Roseburg was so close, got 2 outs. Back-to-back strikeouts for Harrison. And then things have not gone the same since then. The 3-2 pitch. Prescott goes down and launches one into center field. Underneath it, Eli Jacobs to retire the Wolverines here in the top of the ninth. 3 runs come in on 2 hits, 2 Roseburg errors, nobody left on base. Well, Roseburg needs 3 to tie, 4 to walk off with a win as we go to the bottom of the ninth on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
A hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to, by hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations, top of the hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Bottom of the ninth inning here from Champion Car Wash Field, where Roseburg is down by 3 after a error-plagued half inning. They will face Joey Garbodin on the mound, trying to close it out for the Wolverines. The first pitch gets by as it's the top of the order for Roseburg, so these are the guys you want at the plate here, trying to get something started. Brooks Avery leading things off with the 1-0 count. Avery takes high and away. 2 balls, no strikes against Garbodin. Second time at the plate against him. Avery popped out to the second baseman with 2 on and just 1 out at that point in time. 2-0 pitch hits the inside corner for a called strike. Garbodin now in a spot to get the win here. If he can close this out with Willamette still in front. 2-1 pitch, fouled away by Avery. Coming up, we will go to coverage of Oregon State baseball. We're going to get you there a lot later than expected, but Roseburg goes to extra innings here today. 2-2 pitch for Garbodin out of his windup. Avery behind one towards center. Going back is Rather. He squares it up for the first out. 1 away. It brings up Noah Fisk.
Next batter, number 8, Noah Fisk.
Roseburg down by 3. Willamette scored 3 runs in the 9th inning with 1 out. Actually, they scored 3 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning, so let's see if Roseburg can match that. First pitch, a strike to Fisk, and his 1 at-bat against Garbodin. Grounded out to third. 0-1 for Garbodin. The righty misses with his breaking ball low. One pitch. Garbodin out of his windup. Fisk launches towards left field, but it's going to carry enough to Travis Grantham out there. 2 down. Well, here comes the rally time, right? Got to get it, but it's going to take a lot to get there.
Number 14, Austin Takahashi.
Takahashi will bat. He is 1 for 3 today. Had a single in his last at-bat, back up the middle. That came against Garbodin. Takes outside for a 1-0 count. Out of the windup for Joey. Low and inside to Austin Takahashi. A loss here for Roseburg puts them in an interesting spot in the league standings. It's a pitch outside, 3-0 count for Takahashi. They would go to 9-7. They'd be tied with Sheldon, but Sheldon has the season series, so Roseburg would fall to 4th place in the league standings with a loss here today. 3-0 is taken for a strike by Takahashi. And a home loss to a team ranked 33rd in the state. That's not going to do well for Roseburg's RPI. 3-1 pitch, but not done yet. The 2-out rally, still waiting to see. The delivery to Takahashi misses, ball 4. And Tak will take a 2-out walk. Brings up Eli Jacobs, and it means that the on-deck hitter is the game-tying run for Roseburg with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. High and tight to Eli Jacobs for a 1-0 count. A visit out to the mound here for Caden Koffler. Willamette trying to win a 4th straight game. And then they would take a little bit of momentum going into their doubleheader at South Medford on Monday to finish out their regular season as they look to try and sneak their way into the playoffs here in the last week of the regular season. Eli Jacobs at the plate, 0 for 2 in the game, a walk and a sac bunt for him. A 1-0 pitch, takes right at the thighs on the inner half. At first base is Takahashi. A 1-1 to Jacobs, pops him up. Playable first base. Prescott calling for it. Makes the catch to finish the game. Roseburg will fall 5-2. Your final score in this one. Willamette will get the win to go to 5-11 in conference play. Roseburg will go to 9-7 and fall into 4th place in the Southwest Conference. 4th straight loss for Roseburg. They have hit the skids, and they are going to have to try and turn things around quickly. Not a lot of games left before the most important games of the season. Final score again, 5-2. Roseburg falls to Willamette. The Indians do take the season series against the Wolverines, but a tough loss here today. They will get 2 out of 3 against Willamette when they were hoping to get all 3 against the Wolverines. Willamette with 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning. They come back to win this one here today. We'll have all the totals for you when we come back after a, let's do a 2-minute timeout. We'll do that and come back with the postgame show to wrap it up quickly and get you to Oregon State baseball here on The Score. The Roseburg boys fall against Willamette 5-2 on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate! Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Back at Champion Car Wash Field to wrap things up with you here tonight. Another tough one for the Tribe after losing on a walk-off at Sheldon in Game 2 of that doubleheader Saturday. Roseburg battled their way back to have a tight one here against Willamette, but sloppy play in the ninth comes back to haunt Roseburg. A couple of errors allow extra runs to come in, and the Tribe could not overcome 4 errors in the matchup. Final score 5-2 as we look at the numbers. Willamette 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors, and 7 men left on base. For Roseburg, 2 runs on 4 hits, 4 errors, and 11 men left on. Getting the win will be Joey Garbodin. He goes 3 2/3 innings in relief. Gave up no runs on 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Ryan Prescott pitched the first 5 1/3 innings, did not factor into the decision. Taking the loss will be Jake Johnson, who falls to 4-3 on the year. Johnson pitched 8 innings, gave up 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts for Jake Johnson here today. Overall, it was a pretty outstanding outing. Unfortunately, once again, the offense couldn't help him out some, and just the pressure eventually of pitching 8 innings, the longest outing of the season for Jake, finally got to him there. Brevin Harrison came on in relief. He gave up 2 runs. He is credited with 2 runs, neither earned, on 2 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts in his 1 inning of relief. Willamette scored 2 runs in the first inning. First 4 batters got on. Back-to-back singles to start off for Noah Cox and Tyson Rather. Then a double by Ryan Prescott scored 1. And then another run would score on an error first. Let's say that. And then that was on, they had a double steal on. No, they had runners on the corners. That's what it was. Noah Cox got on with a single. On the single by Rather, they put runners on the corners. Rather stole second. The throw to second base went into center field because there was miscommunication on second on who was going to take the ball. It got into the center field, a run scored. Then another run scored on a double by Ryan Prescott. Joey Garbodin got a single, but that would be the end of it as Johnson would settle in, get the next 3 batters to finish off the frame, but Roseburg was down 2-0 early. Roseburg got 1 back in the second inning. A run would score on a sac fly by Jake Johnson. Parker Burke got on with a ground rule double, a pass ball. Would get the runner to third. The courtesy runner, Dane St. Clair, running for the catcher, would score on the sac fly by Jake Johnson to make it 2-1. Roseburg tied the game in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th, a bases-loaded walk to Parker Burke would bring in a game-tying run to make it 2-2. Neither team would score in regulation until we got to the 9th, and that's when Willamette, after a walk to lead off the 9th inning by Jake Johnson, Brevin Harrison came in, struck out the next 2 batters, was 1 out away from getting through the 9th. But a single by Noah Cox got 2 runners on. And then a single by Tyson Rather scored 1 run. That gave Willamette the 1-run lead. But the throw to the plate got away from center field. That allowed another run to score. And then Parker Burke trying to stop a 3rd run from scoring, threw to the plate. Nobody was really there to get it. That ball rolled away. Actually, so the ball got away on the throw to the plate to try and get the first runner. So that got away. That allowed a 2nd runner to come in. As Burke tried to throw to the plate to get that 2nd runner, the ball got away, and that allowed a 3rd run to come in. So with 2 runners on, a single up the middle, followed by 2 errors, allowed 3 runners total to come in the 9th inning. And Willamette would get the victory there. Tough one here today for Roseburg once again, and boy, they've really got to start figuring some things out. This team was on such a streak early, and things have really started to crumble underneath them, and they are going to be fighting their way to even just get a home playoff game here in the postseason coming up in a couple of weeks. Taking a look at offensive numbers real quick. Noah Cox with 3 hits in the game. Tyson Rather with 3 hits in the game and a walk. Ryan Prescott had 2 hits, including an RBI double. Joey Garbodin had 2 hits in the game. And that would be it. Those were all the hits in this one for Willamette. Top 4 in the order doing all the damage. On the other side for Roseburg, only 4 hits in this one. Austin Takahashi had a single and 2 walks. Parker Burke had a ground rule double and scored a run and a walk for an RBI. Jake Johnson had a base hit in this one. And Hunter Fullerton had a bunt single in this one as well. And that would be all of the hits in the ball game for the Tribe. Well, got to find a way to get things on the right track here eventually. It's got to come somehow, some way. Roseburg will be shorthanded going into the weekend doubleheader against now the conference champion North Medford Black Tornadoes. So North Medford, after their extra inning win against South Medford, will head into this weekend's doubleheader to finish the regular season against Roseburg. That'll be coming up Saturday here at Champion Car Wash Field starting at noon. It will be Senior Day, and we're looking forward to celebrating that with Roseburg. Speaking of Senior Day, we'll be celebrating Roseburg Boys Lacrosse Senior Day coming up on Thursday. That's going to be a 7 o'clock broadcast of boys lacrosse on the video stream. Not going to be on the radio, but on the video stream we'll have coverage of boys lacrosse for Roseburg as they host South Eugene. Could be a big opportunity for the Roseburg boys to get themselves into the championship playoff bracket if they could get a win against South Eugene on their home turf on Thursday. So that is Thursday night. That'll be our next video broadcast coming up for you. Our next broadcast of Roseburg baseball, though, is going to be coming up on Saturday, noon, first pitch of Game 1 of a doubleheader to finish out the regular season against North Medford. We've got Oregon State baseball coming up for you here in just a moment. Want to say first, thanks to everybody to made the broadcast possible. Before we get to all of that, let's go ahead and pause real quick. Station identification as we get ready for Oregon State baseball. We'll pause 10 seconds. This is Roseburg baseball on the Score. All right, we will say thank you to the Willamette Wolverines for making the trip down here today and a great competition between these two teams. Want to say thanks to Athletic Director Russ Bolin, Head Coach Troy Thompson, and the entire Roseburg baseball team for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg baseball here on the Score. We want to say thank you to Abby Knight back in the studio for the radio production here tonight, and as always, a thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Kieran. We'll talk to you all on Saturday when Roseburg welcomes in the North Medford Black Tornado to finish out the regular season. Our pregame coverage will start at 11:45 Saturday morning. Stay tuned. Coming up next on the radio will be Oregon State baseball as they take on the University of Portland Pilots. It's coming up next here on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.